So racket number one from CNBC, 64% of millennials have regrets about buying their current home. We're going to get into why right now. Now, just to be clear, when they say regrets, they mean one or more regrets. So it could just be one regret. But 64% of millennials aged 25 to 40 have some type of regret about purchasing their current home. This was a poll from Bankrate, which polled 1,400 U.S. homeowners. So I guess, where were those 1,400 coming from? That they didn't get into all of that, but I think that would maybe impact it a little bit. 45% of Gen X, age 41 to 56, had regrets, and 33% of baby boomers, ages 57 to 75, had some type of regret. So all in all, 43% of homeowners have at least one regret about their current home. But millennials, current home. Millennials was the outlier of being higher than everybody, 64%. So Nicole, let's go through the most common regrets about purchasing their current home. What are they?
So again, I will say though that I do appreciate the fact that there's a graph here.
Yeah, we'll post the graph. We've got the graph. Pop it up.
Byron loves popping up the graphs.
Pop it up.
But it's comparing though to, because again, if you look at the bottom, homeowners overall. So I think it's, at least they're sort of giving you a comparison, because I think that's helpful. Because when you first read this article, you think that millennials are just a pain in the ass, right? Like, are they ever happy? But it's helpful to see how they compare to the others. But always happy. Well, you're a millennial.
Yeah.
All right. How do you feel?
Technically, according to this, you'd be a millennial.
I'm the cusper. I'm the cusper.
Well, here in this article it says ages 25 to 40. How old are you, Nicole?
I am 40. I am
guess
there.
You'd be in.
I wasn't interviewed, but
No.
But anyway, homeowners' most common regrets about purchasing their current home. It's talking about maintenance and other costs are too high. Millennials are pretty close to the average at the 21% mark here, where others are at 16. It's funny though, because
others meaning total homeowners overall.
Right,
Yep.
right. And then it talks about too small of a house. They're at 14%. And again, other homeowners overall, they're at 9%. But again, then we pop down and then they're complaining about their house being too big too. So,
well, it's you ask one person, what's your regret? It's too small. You ask the next person, what's your regret? It's too big.
Right.
So those are two different regrets. Yeah.
Yep. Location.
I don't think
over.
What I'm saying is I don't think the same person is claiming both regrets.
Not.
Let's be clear there.
Of course not. Well, but what's interesting though is it seems it's the same exact percentage is mad that they went too big, and the same percentage is mad that they went too small. But so it goes over mortgage payment being too high, paid too much, bad location, and not a good investment. Again, a lot of these though, I don't feel like are like, I don't think it's really digging too deep into like the meat and potatoes of it, but
these are generalized. I mean, not a good investment. I would advise any millennial, any new first-time home buyer right now, if you're buying your home, the place you're going to live, it's not an investment. It might be a long-term place to save money, a forced savings, if you will, but it's not an investment. Investment is when you buy a house, don't live in it, and rent it out. Or maybe you live in one room and rent out the other rooms. Or maybe it's a multifamily and you're living in one unit and renting out the others. An investment is something that's bringing you money back every single month. The home that you live in is a utility. It's something you're using, right?
Right. Of course. Well, I agree with you there. Unless you're planning to stay there, though, like if this is like your 20-year plan.
Yeah, it's forced savings. It's not an investment. You can look at that, to your point, as a long-term part of your, your net worth.
Right.
But an investment is something that starts paying you back immediately. Your home costs you money immediately. You should be putting 1 to 3% of the home's value. I think they actually get into that here. They do. And any agent, right, listening to this, you should be educating all your first-time home buyers. Hey, what's your plan to put 1 to 3% of this $300,000 home you're about to buy back into your home? And oh, by the way, this won't increase your home's value.
Right.
This is maintenance. This is a sunk cost just for you to maintain your home, servicing your furnace, servicing the AC, replacing a leaky faucet. You have a window that needs to be replaced. That's not an improvement. That is a maintenance cost. You doing A brand new septic tank is not an improvement that brings up the value of your home.
Right.
A buyer comes and expects when they flush everything to go away. That is called maintenance. You put a new roof on. Great. I'm not paying you more for your house. I expect the roof not to leak, right? These are maintenance costs.
Well, and then also just monthly costs, your power, your heating, your cooling. I mean, it's interesting to hear how many or see how many people are not actually asking those questions. Like they're sort of almost capping out at their highest mark without even taking those additional expenses into consideration. So I guess I can understand why 21% of them now feel like their costs are too high because they weren't really asking the right questions up front.
Here's what I see on this list of homeowners' most common regrets about purchasing their current home is opportunities for real estate agents, real estate professionals to educate buyers on what they're getting into. The fact that you need 1 to 3% of the home's value going back into the home just to maintain it every single year. The fact that location is important. And if you actually want to grow long-term wealth because you're going to hold on to this property 10, 15, 20 years, you better pay attention to the location that you're buying in. What's the future of this neighborhood? Is it going to be people looking for smaller size homes or bigger size homes? These are all opportunities for the agent to educate the buyers, and it's an opportunity to put content out. This whole list you could make a video or a blog or some type of Instagram reel on every single thing on this list to help educate buyers. And certainly these are conversations you should be having with every single one of your buyers. Don't be afraid to tell buyers not to buy unless they're willing to put 1 to 3% of the home value back in for maintenance, not improvements. Improvements is on top of that.
Look at you.
It's just the best buyer agents have these conversations up front.
You have to. And again, especially this like too big, too small. I mean, it's like open up the closets. Like let's go back through. Like, or hey, this is perfect. There's a basement or an attic that could eventually be transformed into something. But yeah, no, I agree with you. Look at you throwing out some reels, some real idea. Maybe you're giving yourself some real ideas.
Well, I actually did a reel on this article already.
You did?
Yeah.
When did I miss it?
Well, you miss a lot of my Instagram
I don't.
content.
I like all of them. I haven't missed one in a while, but I did miss this one.
Bobby, go ahead and flash my Instagram handle. You can leave Nicole's off. You can put Nicole's up too.
Yeah, I didn't do a reel on this.
You didn't do a reel on this, but this was. Listen, these are the conversations. The buyers that don't flake out on you, the buyers that stick with agents for a long time, they're sticking with the agents that have these hard conversations where you would think you'd lose a buyer, but no, you're adding extreme value by informing and educating them the cost of home ownership.
Well,
those are the buyers that stay with you. They trust you.
Well, or they flake out because then they realize that they can't legitimately afford to purchase a home yet.
But their trust in you as the professional grows. And when they're ready in 2 years because they've saved up more cash, they're going to send you referrals over those 2 years. They're going to call you back. That's the game. These regrets are not a racket. These are opportunities.